Good morning and welcome to Quest Television and Quest 93.1 FM. It is the first day in the month of August in the year 2023. A lovely Tuesday morning here in the studios, and another Tuesday morning for us to look into the headlines making the rounds on the dailies. My name is Orikemi Mariam and welcome to the paper review on Quest today. Making a return back to the studios this morning are four newspapers of The Guardian, The Nation, The Daily Trust, as well as the Daily Sun newspaper. And it's a beautiful Tuesday morning here in the studio. I am not alone. With me this morning is Comrade Ife Odomo, our Admirable Quest analyst. And for our old viewers, you can fill in the gap. Well, good morning and welcome to the show, sir.
Oh yes, I'm going to reply you in an uncommon manner. Advancing in an uncommon way of goodness, understanding, stability and testimony. That is the meaning of August.
Okay. Well, with that being said, comrade, let's not make no further ado about all of that and just head straight into the papers this morning. The first paper for review is the Daily Sun. And on the Daily Sun newspaper this morning, the major headline reads, Tinubu hints of fuel price intervention. And the writer there says, promises salary review and investment of 100 billion naira on buses, reveals how government saved 1 trillion naira in 2 months, decorates CDS and service chiefs, and charges them to maintain peace and stability, and also broadcast is a sham, says Atiku. Well, do want to read all of that on page 21 of the Daily Sun. Right beside the masthead, we have sit at home. Enough is enough, says Ohaneze. But more on that story you can get on page 26. Anger swells in Oyo and Oshun as protesters block government house and roads. The writer there says will not die in silence. So this comes from the Lagos NLC. And that also stands in conjunction with the picture of the day there. As you can see, the entrance of the Oyo State Government Secretariat in Ibadan blocked by workers led by the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress to protest hardship over removal of fuel subsidy yesterday. But do want to read that story on page 5 of the Daily Sun. Lagos declares 50 and 25% discount on transport fare. It's making it to page 6. And on protest, it says no going back is a statement by Labour. You can continue to read all the report stories on page 6 of the Daily Sun. Supreme Court Justice and FHC Judge die. And the writer there says Unweze was astute and erudite jurist, says the NBA. And his death shocking and big loss, says Kalu. A sad one there indeed. But you can read all of that on page 8 of the Daily Sun. Next, we have court restrains Abia panel from probing ex-governor Ikpeazu and others. Why? Read more on that on page 4. Federal government raises security concerns over second Niger bridge. It's making it to page 26 of the Daily Sun. Still on page 26, talking about diphtheria. As it says, 83 deaths recorded, says the NPHCDA. Do what read both stories on page 26, as I stated earlier. Senate screens and confirms Wike, Momo and others as ministers. The writer there says urges Labour to shelve impending strike. You can read the story on page 8 and continue on page 27 of the Daily Sun. And that's much we can take on the front page of the Daily Sun newspaper. The next paper for review is the Daily Trust. And on the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, the major headline reads, Labour faults Tinubu's broadcast and insists on tomorrow's protest. The writer there says will intervene on our policies if necessary, says the president. Announces 200 billion naira for agric interventions, 75 billion naira to strengthen manufacturing sector, and also Senate leader to meet presidency and NLC over planned strike. The final writer there says president's broadcast is deceptive, and this is a statement coming from Atiku. Do watch read the story on page 4 and continue on page 26 of the Daily Trust. Moving above that, we have Wike, Kyari and 5 others take bow as Senate screens 14 nominees. It's making it to page 11 of the Daily Trust. Super Falcons to earn 46 million naira each for picking World Cup round of 16 tickets. Right now, I wish I were a footballer, but
it's not late.
I do want to read the story on page 31 of the Daily Trust. Saudi Airlines resumed full services and launches new aircraft in Kano. It's making it to page 19. Scramble for APC's vacant position intensifies as NEC meets tomorrow. Is a story you can get on page 10. And also, it's 3 persons die and 836 infected as diphtheria spreads to 8 states. This story seems to be making the rounds on all the dailies right now, but you can continue to read that story on page 6 of the Daily Trust newspaper. Undergraduate and 2 others jailed for gang raping cousin. Wow. that is quite a gruesome one, but you can read all of that on page 17. And what for the picture of the day is same as the one on the front page of the Daily Sun. We can see workers led by the Nigerian Labour Congress and the Trade Union Congress protesting at the entrance of the Oyo State Government Secretariat at Ibadan. And also the insert there is that of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And that's what you can take on the front page of the Daily Trust. The next paper for review is The Guardian. And on The Guardian newspaper this morning, the major headline reads, Tinubu justifies reforms and unveils 500 billion naira package to ease pains. Combined with that is the chart below. But do want to read all of this on page 6 of The Guardian. Moving away from that, Labour and federal government meet again in last attempt to stop tomorrow's protest. It's making it to page 6 of The Guardian. Concerns over Mafab's delayed J5 development operations is making it to page 15. And Senate jettison's promise of thorough screening for ministerial nominees is making it to page 3 of The Guardian this morning. On the Niger coup, it says groups warn ECOWAS on danger of military intervention. Do want to read that story on page 3. Super Falcons to earn $60,000 each for making second round is making it to page 30. And on subsidy, it says time for sacrifice and responsible governance is making it to page 12. And what that's much you can take on the front page of The Guardian. The final paper for review this morning is The Nation newspaper. And on The Nation newspaper this morning, the major headline reads, Subsidy pain, Tinubu rolls out relief package. The writer there says President outlines measures to lift economy, and Ogbe and others hail presidential plan. Right beside that, we can see the picture of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the statement he made, which is, this period may be hard on us, and there is no doubt about it that it is tough on us. But I urge you all to look beyond the present temporary pains and aim at the larger picture. All of our good and helpful plans are in the works, and I know that they will work. Well, this is a statement from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We'll do want to read more on this on page 4 and 5 of The Nation. Moving away from that, we have above the masthead, it's time to deliver, President tells service chiefs. As we can read that story on page 6. Also, Labour insists on protest despite ongoing talks with government. It's also making it to page 6 of The Nation newspaper. Lagos slashes bus fares by 50% and poor families to get food packs is making it to page 4. And the drama of ministerial screening, day 1. There's a major headline there, but you can read all of that on page 7. President travels to Benin Republic is making it to page 6. And Labour leaders chase workers out of Oyo Secretariat is making it to page 26 of The Nation newspaper this morning. Moving down below, we have diphtheria has killed 83 and infected 836. You can read that story on page 6. And CBN exempts MFBS and others from cash limit policies. Do want to read that story on page 8. And at this point, we've taken the headlines, all the headlines on the front pages of the dailies I mentioned earlier, which is The Guardian, The Nation, The Daily Trust, as well as the Daily Sun newspaper. At this point, I'll open the phone line so you could call and have your say on the matters, but do not forget to stick to the headlines making the rounds on the dailies. The numbers to call on your screen. But for those on radio, the numbers remain 080-22-931-931 and 081-88-888-931. With that being said, let's have our first caller for the day. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, man. It's Henry from Mosuga.
All right, Mr. Henry from Mosuga. Welcome to the show. Please have your say.
Workers, NSC, protest, that's it in Ibadan.
Yes.
Workers. The strike, no going back, NSC.
Yes.
And again, I've got Senate to meet the presidency and Labour on planned strike. Now, the truth is that we Nigerians must support Labour. We are saying that they are toothless, that. The other time they wanted to go on strike because that strike. The truth is that when I would like to tell us, this the Tinubu regime, government does not understand the removal of the presidency, and they have what they need to solve the problem. No matter how policy we solve the problem, because the truth is that once you touch the fuel, it affects the entire system. So they thought they should revise it. Nigeria is not the first country if you want to do that. Bolivia did that. If Ecuador did that, so do Brazil did that. So you should go back. If Bolivia do, then you should study the regime. What went wrong? How much they would then You should go back for crisis not to suffer. Then finally, like the coup in Nigeria, like the Niger coup. Group wants ECOWAS on a danger of military intervention. Yeah, that's a very good point. Now, one thing ECOWAS that for us to have like coup free in Africa, that is not be coup. We must have good governance. And again, you look at the Nigerians are happy that the president was removed. So it's a better because if they want to fight that country, because people for now, Burkina Faso, Mali, they are saying I will support that country. We don't want war in West Africa. It should be resolved amicably. Have a good day, sir.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Henry. But let's take more reactions before we move over to Comrade to enlighten us on some of the headlines making the rounds on the dailies. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah. Okay, we can barely hear you. Hello? Hello? Well, the numbers remain the same. 080-931-931.
Hello, good morning.
But do not forget to step away from your radio or TV set. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, my name is Elvis. I'm calling from Udu Road.
All right, Mr. Elvis, please have your say.
Yeah. You see, all those measures that Tinubu has rolled out, all are long-term measures. What we want is short-term. Let him take the fuel back to 190. That's all what we want. So on that, then he can start rolling out his long-term measure. But let him reverse it to 190. We want a short-term measure.
Okay.
Then on the issue of this thing, President Tinubu going to Niger. You see, all those things they are just doing it to protect themselves. If they want you to stop, let them have a good governance. Let them not to be punishing people. They only want to protect themselves and they don't want to do what is right. That's my take. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much. Well, let's take one more call before we move over to Comrade. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Right. Good morning. Welcome to the show. Your name, your location, please. Hello? All right. Well, we'll wait for those calls to come in. Comrade, this is my time.
Hello?
Oh,
Are you hearing me?
Okay. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Your name and your location, please. Hello? Well, if you're having issues reaching us on the numbers, you can drop your messages on our social media platforms. Talking about Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Quest Live Online. The show will see your messages and might even reply you back. Well, with that being said, Comrade, let's move over to you.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, welcome to the show. On the front page of the Daily Sun, it says Tinubu hints on fuel price intervention. But what caught my attention the most was the first write-up that we say promises salary review and investment of 100 billion naira on buses. Now, it's what one of the callers said. He said they don't want these policies or these plans he has are long-term measures. They prefer short-term measures. What's your take to this?
Tinubu on his own is right, and the people also from their own angle is right. There is nowhere you stand to look at a pantry that is never straight. It depends on the angle at which you are coming from. Tinubu is seated at the presidency as the leader of the whole country today. He sees more than what we see, and he knows more than what we know. But one thing is clear. This decision of removing the fuel subsidy was done too much in a haste that is causing rancor everywhere. You know, actually, if you look at the subsidy as a scam, and they are telling us that some people have come out to say there was nothing like subsidy at all, that is just a rape on the Nigerian budget. If that is a school of thought, then which means all the money that will be paid for subsidy are not supposed to be paid. So if you say you are stopping it, there is a difference between stopping it and removing it. We were not having subsidy. So if you say you are not going to pay anymore, which means you are stopping it, then the fuel price should not even increase. Now, what you have now stopped, the difference between the original pump price and what you are paying should be total accumulation to the country's treasury, and that is what the government should be investing on. And reverting the price to the older price, I don't think it's much ado, in the sense that we have enough money that has been pulled out of the economy through the subsidy that are now being restored. So let the common man breathe, like the way they normally put it. Let the common man breathe. You cannot use a long-time measure to solve a short-time issue. That was what collapsed so many banks in the country back in the earliest 90s, when they were collecting short-term funds to fund a long-term investment. And when the owners of the funds came, there was no way they could pay back, and it led to a total collapse in the banking industry. Same thing is happening here now. If you are telling us that you want to invest in agriculture, you want to invest in other areas of the economy, it's a very good plan. But the Yorubas have a say that at times you eat corn, awaiting the arrival of pounded yam. Pounded yam cannot be ready in Nigeria like a corn. So we should take this thing step by step. Give us the measures that will cushion the effect of this thing, pending when the long term start to materialize.
Okay, but still on the matter of the president, Labour has come out to fault the president's broadcast, which went yesterday at about 7 p.m. and they insist on tomorrow's protest. And also, Atiku came out to say that the broadcast was deceptive. What's your take to this?
Yeah, if Labour say they are going ahead, they know what they are stepping on or what they are standing on. I should have thought that, well, the president has made a commitment, that is by the broadcast. Let them sit down and consider and look into the pros and the cons of the statement before they say, okay, they will go on strike. And if they refuse that they must go on strike, then let them tell us what further things they are pressing for. You see? When you say that you needed something so urgent and the person is coming out to say, okay, I'm going to give it to you, why don't you wait a bit? But I am not in the Labour. I don't know what they have at the back of their kitty. So they don't know best why they say they are continuing that strike. Maybe they want to actually twist the government to make sure they don't renege on their promises. That can be a part of it. Then Atiku faulting the president's broadcast. We should learn at least to be our brothers and real politicians. It's not every statement that anybody makes that everybody will criticize. You and I seated on this table, we may be looking at this iPad, but you have a different view about it. I have a different view about it. Does not mean that my own view is wrong. God does not, I cannot hold you responsible that your own view is wrong, because you are looking at it from the way you are saying it. So that you allow the president. Let us actually rally around our leaders. Anything can happen tomorrow, but as of today, the president, Bola Tinubu, is the one that is seated there. We don't know of tomorrow. Somebody else can be somebody else's turn. But as far as he's there on that seat now, let us give every necessary support we think we can to move the country forward. Because if we pull the country down today, it's going to fall on top of every one of us. And it does not say well of our children unborn.
Well, still talking about matters in the country right now, and in correlation with the headlines making the rounds, there seems to be a certain disease going around right now. It's in about 8 states, if I'm right. It's called diphtheria. And right now we've recorded 83 deaths with 836 people infected, and it's coming from the NPHCDA. What's going on? If by this is not the first time diphtheria, the news of diphtheria has hit the papers. So at this point, are we not supposed to have curbed, this disease, contained this disease and eradicated it? Why does it seem as though it is still spreading?
Look, Miriam, curbing this thing will be terribly difficult. To curb it is just like you want to convince a reverend father how to use CD, which is terribly impossible. Now, look at the type of food we consume. Have you not seen where they use rubber to produce egg? Have you not watched it? Have you not seen where they use rubber to produce fish? Have you not seen where they use rubber to produce rice? And you consume all these things. Tell me why the sicknesses will not come. And because in Nigeria we have grown to the level of, we don't want to produce anything. We want everything from the foreign countries. And we must buy, because the stomach infrastructure cannot be left waiting. You must put something into your tummy. Until we learn how to grow our own agriculture, until we learn how to grow our own facilities, we'll continue falling prey of all these things.
But do you think the disease is spreading because the doctors have now gone on strike?
When did they go on strike? When did the doctors go on strike? It's only on the second or the third day. Did this disease start this week? Did it start last week? So these things have been there. Most of the things, like as I told you earlier, most of the things we consume in the country are adulterated products. And you and I don't want to care about it simply because we need something in our tummy. Until we have to jettison this idea of anything foreign is better than anything local, we will continue to rigmarole around these problems we're having. Now, we don't know the one that will follow this one. We've had anthrax, we had the other one that was killing people that they say they came from Mali. COVID-19 has come and gone. Several have been coming and going. This one is not going to be the last, and it's not even going to be in the middle until, of course, we retrace our steps. Our hygiene system is terribly poor. Terribly poor. It was not up to last week when they started clearing this our junction here too, that I knew that there is what do they call it? Zingota, yes. In Otowood, I never knew that was something like that. And people stand on top of those places to trade. People stand there to cook. People stand there to eat. And tomorrow we say one sickness is breaking out. Why would the sickness break out?
Oh well, comrade, you have indeed said a lot this morning. But sadly, it is time for us to log off this segment.
Oh.
Yes.
Once again, we are going off the segment?
Yes, because you have to allow the next come in. But I cannot end the segment without thanking you for being on air with me. And I do look forward to seeing you tomorrow, as usual.
Yes. What's had a beginning must have an end. And what has appeared, we want to disappear. So we are disappearing for this segment to appear again tomorrow.
For now. All right. Thank you very much, our dear viewers and listeners of the Paper Review on Quest today. Have a lovely Tuesday.